hair even?
Does your hair look good?
I don't know. I haven't washed in probably about 4 days, so just kind of holding on by a thread right now. Just kind of want it to be balanced. It doesn't have to look great. Does it look balanced, guys?
Why are you asking them? Towards me.
Is it, like, for the most part, even?
You've got a little standing up in the middle, but other than that,
That's
you're
okay.
good.
I can deal with it. We'll be all right. Here we go.
Yeah, we'll open up questions for Josiah now.
Josiah,
I'm asking my haircut.
I know after that Northwestern game, the guys were saying that you were taking it pretty hard on yourself with just your individual performance. I know Coach said that he challenged you a little bit, that they need more out of you to be successful. How much did you put on yourself to elevate your game and bounce back the way that you did?
Well, I mean, it's just kind of all going back to, I mean, the whole reason I'm here. You know, like they didn't, you know, I'm not like a high school kid. I'm not, you know, a freshman transfer. Like, I transferred in as a graduate. Like, they know this is my last year. Like, they didn't bring me here to hope I figure it out and then, you know, can help out next year. And so, you know, I really haven't been doing a great job of holding up my end of it, of being that, you know, impact guy that kind of does things consistently, and just, you know, plays with the level of intensity and energy that, you know, I started this game with every night. And so, you know, like, obviously I'm not ignorant to that. Like, I'm very aware that I haven't been performing at the level that the coaches or the team needs me to be. And, you know, you try not to get, you know, too down on yourself in those stretches, but it definitely just comes with a level of, like, self-reflection and perspective of, you know, you can't dwell on the past. Like, you know, I'm not going to get that Northwestern game. I'm not going to get some of the other many that I fumbled for us. But I can only control what I do this, like, for next game. And so even, you know, with this game having, like, just been over, like, yeah, that's great. It doesn't mean it's going to be like that every time. Like, I still have to prepare for Penn State the same way. Like, I got to go in thinking, you know, it's just another opportunity for me to, you know, prove why, or, like, more or less prove the coaches right in recruiting me. And really just, like, helping my team out and help us, you know, because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, everybody's here because, you know, we're trying to make history. You know, the team's never won a tournament game before, and we're in a strong position of that still, even with our lack of any kind of identity on the road. And so, like, I try to keep it out of my mind too much, but, you know, it's one of those things where you try to find any kind of lesson in it and just focus on, you know, at the end of the day, like, you're trying to be the best you, the best team you can be come the end of the season. And luckily we've done enough work so far to where we can still not have to rely on winning our conference tournament. But at the same time, you know, you can't think too far ahead and then you start fumbling the rest of these. You know, like, this Michigan team just beat Wisconsin at home. Like, this isn't anybody to play with. And, you know, we came out early, threw that first punch, got up 30, and then almost resorted to bad habits again in that last media, and then that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. And so we just have to do a lot better job of correcting that and, you know, like, I don't know if Coach said it or whatever, but, you know, playing to the standard, not to the competition. Like, for me, I just think about it a lot with, because I used to do, like, track in high school. I used to just do high jump. I kind of finessed my way into not having to run. But, like, in high jump, there's a concept that, like, a lot of jumpers, like, struggle with, that I did as well, at least amateur jumpers struggle with, and that's jumping to the height of the bar. Like, you can be someone that has a, you know, in high school, like, you know, PR of, like, 6'6", that'll miss heights at, like, 5'10". Like, that doesn't make sense. You know, you're obviously clearly capable of clearing something that's almost a foot higher than this, but yet you're still playing to the level of the bar. Like, you got to jump your highest jump every time you get up there. And for us, you know, we've shown what we can do. You know, we went and we, you know, took care of K-State shooting poorly and, you know, cleaned them with the glass. You know, we handled Purdue at home. We handled Wisconsin at home. Like, we've shown what we're capable of. We've shown our PR, but yet we still keep missing these heights at these meets, you know. And it's something that I'm trying to figure out that I can, you know, help with the team. And obviously the coaches have tried a bunch of different stuff with, like, mixing it in practice. And it's obviously there, Because, I mean, even at the end of the Northwestern game, like, was going to be like a 25-point blowout into, oh, snap, like, they're kind of making a run on us and, got it to within 10 with a few minutes to go. And it's like, why do we have to wait till we're backed into a corner of, like, oh, there's nothing else we can do, and then we turn it on and show that we can, compete on the road and silence their crowd and all this stuff. But, obviously we didn't figure it out until there was 6 minutes left, so it's a little bit too little too late. But, yeah, I mean, in this league, there's no freebies. And so, obviously, Michigan hasn't been having a very good year. But, like I said, they just beat Wisconsin. Like, they've been playing better. They've won on the road. Like, they won at Iowa. We couldn't. And so this definitely wasn't one that we could play with. And, especially with me, I know that they crash a lot and we struggle a lot with offensive rebounds. And we still didn't do a great job with that. We did a better job of handling the ball ourselves without limiting turnovers. But, yeah, you're not going to dwell over a win. But there's definitely, even this one, it showed us once again the level that we're capable of and how low our basement is as well. And so we really got to we got to jump our PR every time. We can't keep jumping to the height of the bar.
To your point of starting out with energy like the team didn't like you did today, is that just a mental thing, or how do you get in that zone of coming out with physicality with energy every day?
I mean, I've played around a little bit just with different things with pregame. Whether that's doing extra stuff like extra shots, extra workouts, post moves, whatever it may be, or taking it easy, and just trying to figure out what helps me kind of come out the gate ready to go. And the ultimate thing with me is I've noticed that I've had I had a good impact defensive game against Indiana, and that's one where I was a little bit more high tempo, building a sweat before the game. And today, I tried to not take it easy, but kind of do enough to just get me in the right space physically, to where I could obviously come out and compete at the level I need to, not being stiff. And I still obviously had a great start to today as well. And I mean, the only thing that really changed is, I'm going into those games just with a different mentality. That's kind of part of it. It's like when, you see all these guys, in the league or coaches or whoever else, they talk about how the mental side is, 90-95% of the game. It's absolute, it's facts. They're not just saying it to make an excuse for a poor shooting night or whatever. It's true. You can have a phenomenal shooter, but if he doesn't think it's going to go in, it doesn't matter. Because when he's going, he's thinking about too many different things when he's shooting. And that's something I've been trying to work on, especially, at the free throw line and just, different opportunities I get from three. But it's the same thing with every aspect of the game, whether that's defense or, crashing the glass. You have to make sure that you're taking the right mental preparation and going into the game thinking, they can't box me out, or, they can't guard me down low, or, they're not going to be able to close out, or this is free, they're not guarding me, whatever it may be. And just trying to slowly build almost repetition with that and, just playing aggressive, because regardless of me making the shots or not, I've been, very tentative with my, at least offensive game. I haven't even, really attempted a lot of moves that I made tonight in previous games, where I try to do too much instead of just keeping it simple. And so I've really just been trying to figure out what things I need to do to get me in the right headspace, to where I'm not thinking about everything. I'm not, trying to play angry or, stoic or whatever it may be. I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to be Joe. You can't ask for any more than that. I've obviously shown, I've hit the low lows. Even last game, I didn't show up at all for us, whether that was offensively, defensively. I wasn't there. And it's kind of one of those things where, you have to understand that, you're not going to be able to control everything. At the end of the day, this is a very competitive league. There's no free games. You're going to have to, go out and be yourself. And so at the end of the day, you just, I got to go out and just be Joe. Joe plays hard. Joe plays defense. Joe makes simple plays. Keep the game simple and, not try to play outside of yourself.
You guys did a good job of making the extra pass, even in the post or in the lane, like between you and Rink and Juwan. And is that something you saw in film?
Yeah. So I mean, every single game we go into, like the coaches have a very extensive breakdown and game plan with everything. It's honestly quite a chore, to be honest, because we'll have like 5 different plays before every single game that is just for maybe one instance where they feel like it might work, and you know, you got to remember on the top of your head. But yeah, that was something they talked about. Is, you know, they play a lot more zone than really any of the teams we've played so far, and they just talked about, you know, how they handle rotations, and obviously, you know, getting into the middle of the zone is how you break most of them, and then it's just about making the right play. And I mean, I appreciate you throwing my name in there, but I mean, obviously Rink was on like triple double watch, and I don't think I even had an assist. But yeah, you know, he's obviously a phenomenal player. Like, he did a great job tonight, really just picking them apart and, you know, creating easy plays for everybody. So big shout out my guy Rink. I did that one. But yeah, it was just, you know, Coach talks about it a lot. You know, just make the right simple play, and Rink does a good job just finding me when I'm calling for it. You know, and I try to help him out whenever I can. But yeah.
Josiah, you guys now get 6 days off. You mentioned what this team is working towards.
Yeah.
How crucial of a time is this just to kind of rest and reset before the final 6 in the regular season?
I mean, it's huge. I mean, this is my 5th year playing college ball. And every team I've been on, it doesn't matter, you know, the level or conference or whatever. Like, everybody has things that they're dealing with, little nagging injuries, like from top to bottom. I mean, even the guys that, you know, don't get a lot of tick. Like, there's just a grind to, you know, the practices, the traveling, all that stuff, to where it's hard to really let a lot of these little injuries go, and you're basically just trying to hope it feels as good as possible. Like, usually you don't feel very good going into games. You just try to get yourself feeling as good as possible, like better. And so this will be nice, especially at this point in the season when we really have to close out and put together some good quality wins to really like cement our resume. So I'm definitely going to use it. I know my ankles are in need of some downtime. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of guys with a bunch of different stuff that are going to really appreciate this break. And ultimately, I mean, it's the hard part with it is, you know, obviously the coaches do a great job with all the sports science. You know, our strength coach and trainer do a good job making sure that everybody's in the right place physically. But the struggle with these weeks off is the mental side of it, where, you know, we just obviously had a really strong win at home. We have a week until we play at home again, and it's just not losing that focus or getting too casual with, you know, our preparation, or thinking, oh, you know, I got 5 more days, and then it turns out I got 4 more days, 3 more days, and then, you know, then it's coming and you really aren't in the same, you know, mental headspace when, you know, when you're on like a stretch where you have, you know, game, 2 days, game, 2 days, game, where you're like constantly just focused on ball. And so, I mean, we have a pretty mature team that's been through these stretches. And so, I mean, I'm confident that we're going to come out of this break feeling better and with a good game plan to really finish out the season strong. But yeah, I like this. I like the way this unfolded with the week.
Anything else for Joe? Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
Thanks for waiting on me.